And welcome back. Our campaign 2020 coverage continues tonight with a local race for Congress. California's 20th Congressional District covers more than 700,000 people in Monterey, San Benito, Santa Cruz, and Santa Clara counties. Democratic incumbent Jimmy Panetta is seeking his third term in office, but he is facing a more established challenger than he did 2 years ago. Jeff Gorman is a financial advisor and former chair of the Monterey County Republican Party. KION anchor Aaron Groff reports on how they'll tackle the biggest issues facing our region, from coronavirus relief to wildfires.
There aren't many similarities between the two candidates running to represent California's 20th Congressional District in Washington. Let's start with coronavirus relief. Two-term Democrat incumbent Jimmy Panetta says he helped bring in $1.5 billion to the district through the CARES Act and attached Paycheck Protection Program. But now money's running out across the country. He's part of the bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, while Democratic Party leadership recently pushed aside their $1.5 trillion relief plan, saying it's not enough. Panetta says they're doing their job.
And I believe it prompted our leadership, Democrats and Republicans, to come back to the table and to continue to negotiate. A lot of times in this job, it'd be easy just to throw up your hand and throw things down, just say, no, let leadership deal with it. But that's not why I was there.
But if you ask Jeff Gorman, too much money's being spent. He calls the response worse than the disease itself. Instead of a new large stimulus bill with Democrats requesting money for local governments, Gorman believes another targeted $1,200 check is the better solution.
People that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars didn't get the support, but people that are working class families did, directly from the IRS, not through these jurisdictions. Like the Democratic Party wants to drive everything through these large collectivist organizations.
Like our presidential candidates, the Central Coast's congressional options are far apart on tackling climate change and the best way to address a record-breaking wildfire season. When asked about rising temperatures, Gorman dismisses the idea relating to wildfires. Forest management is the problem, along with not getting there fast enough.
The necessity for a fire is fuel, and the fuel is really what has happened in California's forest. A central command in the middle of the country, somewhere like Colorado, where we have jets that are fueled and ready to go and hit a new fire while it's still small and before the smoke builds up in the atmosphere very hard and put it out.
Panetta promotes a series of legislation. His Emergency Wildfire and Public Safety Act does deal with forest management. The California Clean Coast Act bans offshore oil and gas drilling. But his major bill is the Climate Action Rebate Act, using carbon fees to cut emissions by 100% by 2050.
And then reinvest that money in communities that have been affected by climate change, research and development for cleaner, cheaper, and more accessible green energy, and then job transitioning from those who are coming out of the fossil fuel industry into the green economy.
In 2019, Panetta introduced more bills than most members of Congress, but having them become law is another story. He says don't blame the Democrat-led House.
Senate Leader McConnell has no interest in actually doing things except affirming judges, unfortunately. And I am laying the foundation with my legislation that when the time is right, we will be able to pass these pieces of legislation.
While Gorman criticizes this flurry of bills, he says Washington does need to step in some places, including against sanctuary states like California.
The federal government should be empowered to withhold money until you're going to comply with federal laws. Another one would be in regard to whether you shut down riots that destroy private property. And if this jurisdiction won't defend those property rights, those are anarchic jurisdictions, and the federal government should step in.
And that was Aaron Groff reporting for us tonight.